Good Thursday morning, foggers. I hope everybody had a good hump day, a good Wednesday. We're almost at the end of the week, closer to your weekend where you can spend some off time with your loved ones and your significant others. And so listen, this morning I was just watching, today's the anniversary, the 80th anniversary of D-Day, right? The invasion of the Normandy beach in France. And, as an advocate for first responders and military and stuff, I'm always looking at what interests me, right? I'm very grateful for everything they did. Not only did they, keep the world safe, but they helped all these people that were being traumatized in World War II over in Europe, and they kept that country free. And who knows what would have happened if we had not got together with all the Allied forces and done that. But, as the advocate, I look and, these men, a lot of these men lied, and this is common knowledge, lied about their age, 16, 17 years old, to enlist and go to fight, right? And just that generation is always known as one of the greatest generations. And I do believe that, and we always have this issue about previous generations and forward. Yes, we're not in a great place as a country because of different ideologies about things, but I believe that people rise to the occasion. So I was looking at all this men, and it's been 80 years, and they still they relive that trauma. A lot of them are in hospice and were dressed up and flown over there. They're in wheelchairs and they're very debilitated. Some are 100 years old, and they still relive that trauma, and they still have that look, and they still get very emotional. And a lot of them stated that they wanted to come back because they believed that they left their fallen brothers there, and just a world of trauma. And I wanted to see that because, yes, there's a difference in being actively in a PTSD, acute stress, or PTS as we call now, flashbacks and living. And a lot of these guys have had a lifetime of that, and they've been able to function, but they never forget. And I just wanted to be honest with people. And, I'm able to function in my life now, and I'm not in that place that I was at one point, and a lot of us are, that danger zone. But make no mistake about it. I mean, we don't forget the experiences that we've had. So I just wanted to touch on that. The other thing was about being truthful. And we all know you're taught at an early age not to lie, whatever. And we lie when it's okay for us, right? When it's okay for us to do that, and little lies and white lies and big lies. But when dealing with mental illness and addictions and people that are in a dark place, it is absolutely imperative that you're truthful, okay? Because we talked about recently in the last couple of days about limits and enabling. And if you're not truthful, you may have only one chance at helping this person, right? So let me give you a brief, a cop story, right? So I remember it was one night, routine patrol, well, not routine patrol because I hate using that, but we were swamped with calls and there was no available units, and a call went out of a person that was hearing and seeing things, right? So I said, you know what, I'll take the call as a sergeant, and when a unit clears, they can go back me up. So when I get there, it's a rather large guy. And again, I'm very capable with myself, but when people are suffering mental illness, they've got this incredible strength, and I'm already thinking that, what do I need to do to not engage into a physical altercation, right? So, I get there, and the guy's pointing at a large tree at a house in the neighborhood, and that there's people in the tree, and that, he knows they're coming to get him. They're down the street because he heard them and he saw them, and he's displaying paranoia. Obviously, he's hearing voices, so most probably he's a paranoid schizophrenic, which is extremely dangerous because these voices tell them what to do, and they'll just go ahead and do it. So I remember I was already doing my best, like, oh, let me go check and see what the people are saying, and I would come back and kind of calm them down and like, hey, no, they're there for somebody else. They said that you're fine. And when a rookie officer from another squad shows up, and I remember that she said this, and I had some choice words for her after. She didn't work for me, and she's like, hey, there's nobody in the tree. Nobody lives in the tree. Nobody's talking to you. And guess what? It was on. And it wasn't as hard as a struggle that I thought, but we had to take this guy to the ground and eventually Baker Act him and take him to a facility for a mental health evaluation. And what I'm trying to get at is, and I was wrong for doing that. right? And I now know, again, more experience and just my belief of how things should be handled. When people are in a difficult place, paranoid, or they're going through addictions, remember I told you it's the scariest time. You have to be absolutely 100% honest. And that includes if you don't have an answer and you don't know, the response from you should be, I don't know, but I will be here next to you and I will be here with your family and we will find out together and everything will be fine, right? And that's not a lie. That's the absolute truth. So when you're helping somebody and they're displaying maybe some sort of paranoia, and we know this from our critical incident and our CIT people that are trained to deal with mentally ill people, we're not barred from that. You will encounter first responders and numerous that have to be taken for a mental evaluation because we've just gotten so deep into that hole that it's dark. And because of addictions and mental health, a lot of us are in there, right? And a lot of us have been there. But you can heal from that. There's medication and there's therapy and there's psychiatrists and there's all kinds of stuff. But the message today is that if you have a loved one or a significant other or a partner and they start talking stuff that just doesn't make sense or that we absolutely know is not correct, the proper way is to not challenge them, but to let them know, no, you're not feeling well. You're not in a good place. There is nobody looking for you. There is nobody saying anything. I'm here. My ears are fine. I'm not hearing it. You're just in a dark place. I'm next to you. Everything is going to be fine. And we're going to get some help. And the families of first responders, it's also very important to be honest with them, right? We don't want to give them it's going to be okay. Don't worry. We'll just leave and he'll be better tomorrow. No. If you've engaged with somebody, you've talked to somebody and they have shared with you, because what we're asking here is for them to reach out. So if they reach out and we don't do nothing, we're just shitting all over them, and we can't do that, okay? If they have the courage to reach out, you have to absolutely either know how to handle or immediately get a professional or a peer that has been there that can start holding these people's hands until they get to a facility or they get some professional help. And again, when dealing with people in this, post-traumatic or addictions, I make it extremely clear right from the beginning, like I have here on these videos, I am not a professional. I'm not a therapist. But I have been in dark places. I have been able to navigate several addictions, right? And, I'm just that guy that's been there. But I do feel that with professional therapists and peers that have been there, it's a great mix. It's a win-win. It's not about ego. It's about helping people. And like I told you before, professional therapists and psychologists and doctors have told me, we don't have the experience you do. They have all the education in the world, but it's great to have somebody that can say, you know what? I remember that. I've been there. I did this. This didn't work too well. It might work for you. So, the message today is truth. By telling people no, setting limits, and telling them the truth, you're not hurting them. You're hurting them if you're not wanting to hurt their feelings. This is not about feelings. This is about saving lives and saving families and just a world of trauma that can come down if you do not do things the right way. You may only get one shot at helping somebody. And if you're going to start playing games and lying, and again, not because you're a bad person, but just because you thought that was the best thing, you may lose that opportunity. And if God forbid something happens, you're now going to eat some of that trauma knowing that you had an opportunity and that, it may have contributed to somebody doing something. And like I've told you and you saw in the video before, we can't save everybody. I am absolutely fine if things don't pan out for the best for somebody. I am at peace. I'm not fine with it and I'm not going to be happy, but I understand that, I did the very best that I could and I introduced them to a professional. And, life is life. I've lost many friends to overdoses that I thought were going to be in a good place and we're heading down the right road. And unfortunately, it didn't. And although it kills me and I remember them and sometimes I do get these little flashbacks about our conversations, but I choose not to carry it. I just flat out choose not to carry it. I don't want to live that life anymore of taking people's trauma. I'm here to help you with yours and to help you navigate and to tell you what worked for me and what didn't work for me. And so that's a conscious decision that I make. I'm not taking anybody's trauma. I already had mine, and that was enough. And I have my own life, and I'm in a good place now. But I will always be who I am, right? A broken guy that was put together, and I'm grateful. So, the message today: be truthful. If you're a spouse or significant other, and your coworker or your significant other, first responder, is drinking, coming home late, inebriated, maybe going to work already intoxicated, you need to set limits and be truthful. Be truthful about what you're noticing, okay? And with that, thank you, okay? Today's Thursday. To the men that fought in D-Day, we're very grateful, and we take some of their lessons and their struggles, and we learn from them today and apply them to our troops today. So grateful. Meal prep, hydrate, lift. I'm about to start my own new protocol, and I'm excited about that. But thank you for everything you do, and if God allows me to, I will be here tomorrow. God bless you, and get after it, okay? 3 a.m. Fog.